Two additional rubric requirements are that you use transitions between your paragraphs and that you introduce your quotes. We've worked on introducing our quotes in class. I want to spend a little bit of time here on transitions. Transitions help your paper flow and help each of your paragraphs connect logically with the one after it. So the first thing you're going to want to decide as you're setting up your essay and copying and pasting it into your Google Doc is what order you're going to have your paragraphs in. Are there certain ideas that fit well together? Will one paragraph flow naturally into the next? So you have three different paragraphs here. You might have written them down as they came to you, but it might be that what you've written down in paragraph 1 really makes the most sense to be in paragraph 3. So think through your paragraphs, think what order you want them in. Sometimes it works to go chronologically. Sometimes it works that you have the strongest paragraph and you want to put the strongest paragraph last. Sometimes you have contrasting ideas, and so maybe you have two examples of people who use fear to do evil, and then perhaps one person that overcomes fear in the last paragraph as kind of a contrast to the first two paragraphs. So it's really up to you how you want to organize these paragraphs. And then you're going to use transitional words to move from one paragraph to the next paragraph. So look through this list, think about how your paragraphs connect. So many of you are writing paragraphs that all deal with the same theme in the same way. You may be doing 3 different examples of fear and how fear is used. So in that case, this similarity relationship between your paragraphs would make a lot of sense. So also, in the same way, likewise, similarly. Some of you are doing your paragraphs in chronological order, in which time it would make sense to do first, second, third, or to do the time, after John Proctor learns of Elizabeth's conviction, he goes to the court. Alright, so these are good if you're doing things chronologically. Then you also have to include a transition into your conclusion. These work pretty well for that. Another way to transition from one paragraph to another, if you're not going to use one of these transitional words, is to repeat words that are used at the end of one paragraph and the beginning of the next. So here is an example, ending sentence of paragraph 1. John Proctor was an honorable man in Salem. Then I begin the next paragraph. Salem was a town ruled by fear. So this use of the word in both locations helps to transition from one paragraph to the next. It doesn't feel choppy between them because the same words are being used. So that is what transitions are. If you have a question, let me know. Here's an example of what they would look like in a paragraph. So I am writing about how fear is used to manipulate people into doing evil. Let's pretend I've written a sentence or a paragraph above about Danforth and how he uses fear to justify the work of the court. In this paragraph, I'm going to talk about Hale and how his fear of the devil undergirds his initial work for the court. So this line right here is really my topic sentence. It's what I could put in this box here. It's what I may have written as my topic sentence in paragraph 2. Then I want a transition, so I went to my list and I see that in the similarity relationship I see the word likewise. So since I've just talked about how Danforth uses fear, and now I'm going to talk about how Hale uses fear, it has a similar relationship between the paragraphs. So I chose to use likewise. So that's all the transition I need is one word there. Likewise, Hale's fear of the devil undergirds his initial work for the court. So that's my transition and my topic sentence. And then here's where I introduce the quote. When Proctor learns of the murder charges against Rebecca, he is incredulous. Reverend Hale responds adamantly, saying. So here in red, what you see is that I give the context for where the quote is said in the play. Then I put in the quote. I make sure to have my MLA in-text citation with my period behind my citation. Then I continue by putting the quote in my own words. And then finally, I look and see that I write about how this quote relates to my topic sentence of Hale's fear of the devil undergirding his initial work for the court. Please talk to me if you have questions or email me.